Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with our Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure review. Today taking a look at the Star Wars Gaming Greats. I think it's part of the Gaming Greats Jedi Fallen Order Heavy Assault Stormtrooper. I had this pre-ordered with GameStop Canada. It shipped and I got it today. So I assume those will be hitting the pegs soon if they're not already. But yeah, this is a cool one. I really like Jedi Fallen Order. It was a really great game. I'll have to play through it again at some point. It's been a few years now. But yeah, I'm always happy to add new Stormtroopers to the collection. So we'll take a quick look at this guy in the packaging. As you can see, standard Vintage Collection card back. We do with that Jedi Fallen Order nameplate there instead. Might be the first figure to have the Jedi Fallen Order tag there that's been released. I'm not sure on that, but it might be. It has an image that I believe is taken straight from the game, which looks pretty cool. The figure, Heavy Assault Stormtrooper. On the back, you have Gaming Greats, just a really brief write-up of the Vintage Collection. And you have the Heavy Assault Stormtrooper, and you have the Stormtrooper Commander from The Force Unleashed, which I will have eventually. I'm surprised it didn't ship with this, but maybe they have different release dates. I don't know. Anyways, gonna get this guy cracked open. I'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, now the figure out of the packaging, and yeah, it's a pretty simple release in terms of the actual figure. It does reuse, for the most part, the newer Vintage Collection Stormtrooper Rogue One mold. That I don't actually have the original, just clean white Stormtrooper mold. This is actually my first time getting just a clean white one. I do have like the Remnant one. I got like the Gaming Greats Shadow Stormtrooper use of the mold, as well as the mainline Shadow Stormtrooper use of the mold. But I never got the standard white Stormtrooper. There are some minor differences to the versions of the mold that I have, though. But take a quick look here. It's basically just a white Stormtrooper with a black pauldron. I'm not entirely sure if we've seen this pauldron before. I am assuming we have, but it is possible. It's a new piece, but like I said, I'm guessing it's not. But yeah, helmet sculpt looks phenomenal. They have definitely nailed the Stormtrooper helmet sculpt on the 3 1/4 inch figures. It's taken them years and years, but they have finally done it. So that looks good. All the paint apps are pretty clean on it as well, which is really nice. All the little vents and different highlights look really nice. I don't have too much messiness going on, which is really good, especially when it comes to the helmet. And the rest of it's pretty much just white. You got a little bit of gray dots on the midsection there, and you got black for the undersuit, and not much else. It's a simple release. There's not much to talk about. It is a Stormtrooper with a black pauldron. Articulation-wise, he's got a dumbbell joint in the neck, which that was surprisingly easier to take off than I thought it would be. But yeah, dumbbell joint in the neck, so you can rotate it around, look up and down just a little bit, not really a whole lot because of the pauldron and helmet sculpt. But decent range of motion. Hinges of the shoulders move pretty much full up to 90, and you rotate them. Hinges in the elbows move a little past 90, and they rotate, as well as having hinges in the wrist. This one goes in and out and rotates. This one goes up and down and rotates. Ball joint the torso moves really nicely. Unfortunately, the old style ball jointed hips. I wish they would have upgraded this mold with the new style of hip joint, because that style of hip joint is infinitely way better. Not that these are bad. I prefer these over swivel joints, but yeah, these are just inferior compared to the new stuff we've been getting lately. Hinges in the knees to move about 90, and then hinges in the ankles, but an upgrade that they've made to the mold that the previous version of the mold that I own don't have is this actually has rocker joints, so that's pretty cool. But if they're going to engineer rocker joints, I would like to have seen the new engineered hips as well, but not a big deal, truthfully. So yeah, he's well articulated, really well articulated and good looking Stormtrooper. But the main attraction of this figure is the accessories. That is what makes him kind of interesting. So he does actually come with the rotary cannon. You would be most familiar with it from the Clone Wars, I'm sure. But they do use this gun in the game. And it's a brand new mold. No moving parts on it, unfortunately. None of the handles move and the barrels don't move. But this is like the first time we've gotten this accessory with a Star Wars figure in like a long time. I think the last time we got this with a figure was way back in 2013 with the last wave of Clone Wars figures with that Captain Rex, which I do have. And that one did have moving parts, but I think it might be the last time we actually got this accessory. So it's really cool to see this accessory back, because this is a really cool gun. And he can hold it. Get him to hold it. Can hold it here, maybe. It's probably gonna be a little finickier than I want it to be. Since literally the first time I've gotten to hold it. But yeah, there it goes. Get his hand there. And get the other one up. And there you go. You have him. I'm not really doing a good job of trying to get in a good pose right now, but yeah, you can definitely see he's holding it. Looks good. If you mess with it, you can make it look pretty good. So that is cool. But you get a couple of effect parts as well. So you do get this blast effect part, make it look like it's firing. This is very cool. It's just cast in the orange plastic that kind of fades to a lighter orange in certain spots. The peg's really small. I believe you might be able to fit this in like some of the hollowed out muzzles on maybe G.I. Joe classified figures. Don't have one handy to try, but that might be something you can do. But basically you can take this and just slot it in right at the end of the gun. Try to get him to hold this properly. And then there you go. You have him firing the gun, so that's really cool. But then you can go one step further. And in the game, and a gameplay mechanic to make them a little more difficult or a little more challenging to face. This does not want to, forehand does not want to hold that too well. But you actually get an energy shield. They can deploy an energy shield while they're firing, makes them more difficult to hit. And I'm actually have not done this before, but I don't know entirely. Okay, so this just goes on here. Like so, and then you can stick the blast effect in, and then there you have the heavy assault stormtrooper with the shield. You can actually see him through the shield. It's a lot really distorted, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that looks really nice. Obviously, it makes him extremely top heavy, front heavy. You'd have to really mess with the articulation. You might even have to put him on a stand just to get him displayed like this. I can try get him in a pose real quick, I guess. But yeah, this one's not going to be easy to stand on its own. I don't have the room to display it with the effects on it, so I'm not going to be displaying them with that on the shelf. But it is a really cool accessory. I'd love to see more effect parts come with figures. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah. So if you mess around with the articulation and you get the weight distributed right, you can actually get him standing with no support with all the accessories on the gun. And it looks all right. I have his legs look kind of awkward, I'll be honest. So I'll have to mess with it a little more. But you probably might want to use a stand for this guy if you're going to display him long term with these effect parts on. But these effect parts are super cool, and I think the figure looks super good. Really quickly, here he is with next to one Stormtrooper, the Remnant Stormtrooper that uses a similar mold. So you can kind of see how similar they are. They definitely fit together. So if you have any of the Rogue One standard white Stormtroopers, you got that Stormtrooper 4-pack that released a little while back, this guy should fit right in with those. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid release. They took a standard Stormtrooper and they made it pretty interesting with the accessories. So I think even for the accessories alone, I think it's worth it. But if you're a Stormtrooper collector, I think it's a no-brainer. Definitely want to pick it up. Add more variety of Stormtrooper to your Imperial Army. 100%. I think it's worth it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Pretty cool figure. Recommend picking it up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And may the Force be with you.